Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now, well, probably
skills that pay the bills.
well, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
Boxing pros have reacted to the potential clash between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Fresh from a heated but conclusive defense of his WBC title against Arum Harutyunyan, Stevenson has consistently asserted that both Davis and Lomachenko have been avoiding him. Unhappy about being ignored by the popular Ukrainian talent, Lomachenko, Shakur is questioning his courage, seeing him as ducking him for fear of being beaten. Shakur has called both Lomachenko and Tank Davis many times. During the post-fight press conference with Arum Harutyunyan, Stevenson elaborated on the fights that have eluded him, namely against Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis. He stated, "Tell Lomachenko, fight me," said Stevenson. Wouldn't that be a fun fight? Someone who is coming in there trying to fight and trying to win. He's technically good. There are a lot of people out there who are probably like, Lomachenko can beat Stevenson. He couldn't stop Harutyunyan. Why not make the fight? Lomachenko doesn't want to fight. I'm just telling it like it is. I can't force these fights to happen if these guys don't want to fight me. Even before the decisive win over Arum Harutyunyan, Shakur had tried to encourage Lomachenko to fight him, which didn't work for Stevenson to get a showdown against Lomachenko. When talking to Fight Hub, Stevenson stated, "Lomachenko looked good, but I still think he's scared to fight me. Stop being scared, Lomachenko. I will call you Duckchenko or Scarychenko until you fight me, champ."
I think that's the real issue. We gotta get somebody signed a dotted line, but if I could pick, it's either Lomachenko, and if they go fight each other, I say Zepeda. Why Zepeda keep saying my name and clout chasing me and then won't fight me? I don't think he should get a pass for that either.
Shakur is in a big hurry to fight Tank and Lomachenko and is not interested in fighting talented contenders like Raymond Muratalla, William Zepeda, or Abdullah Mason. Ideally, Shakur should give Edwin de los Santos a rematch because many felt he was given a gift decision over him last November. Recently, a night of boxing took place in Los Angeles, featuring 2 title fights for the WBA World Championship belts. During the boxing event, Lomachenko and Stevenson engaged in a heated verbal exchange right in the stands. During the argument, Lomachenko challenged Stevenson to step into the ring immediately to settle their dispute, and Stevenson agreed. Of course, the confrontation did not escalate further, as security intervened to calm the boxers.
In there, nigga! In there! Me and you! Let's go! Why you don't want to fight me? Let's go right now! Let's go! Come on! Let's go! Come on! You're bluffing, bro.
After the incident, Lomachenko shared his perspective on what transpired between him and Stevenson. He, Shakur Stevenson, just wants money. He was asking me about a fight. He wants to use my name to make money. That's all, Lomachenko stated. Nevertheless, Lomachenko also mentioned that he is open to considering a fight with the American champion after taking a break. It is worth noting that Lomachenko's manager, Aegis Klimas, had previously stated that the Ukrainian boxer does not plan to fight in the near future. On the other end, Stevenson called Lomachenko after the altercation, and when asked about if he can make that fight up with Turki Alalshik, he said that he would love to, but Lomachenko won't.
Yeah, once again,
what happened?
He got tough outside the ring, but I told him let's set a fight up.
You think you can make that fight with Turki Alalshik?
I mean, I would love to make the fight, but it don't seem like he want to fight me. He want to fake like he want to fight me outside the ring.
Are you going to sign with that?
However, it doesn't look likely that Shakur will get a fight against the former 3-division world champion Lomachenko, who was in negotiations with Tank Davis for a mega fight in November. But then an alarming news confirmed that Lomachenko refused to fight Gervonta Davis, opening the door to an all-American fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Even though Tank and Loma started talks for a fight, Lomachenko decided not to go through with it because he wasn't ready to get back in the ring and wanted to stay with his family during the ongoing war with Russia. Many people in boxing believe that Stevenson is the most exciting opponent for Davis right now, and that a fight with Lomachenko would have come too late. In an interview, former boxer Tim Bradley was asked to share his thoughts on why the Lomachenko versus Tank fight didn't happen.
All right, Sean Zattel again, joined with my man Tim Bradley. We talked about a lot of this Lomachenko, Tank, Shakur situation at lightweight a few days ago, but my man Tim has some other thoughts to unpack. Tim, man, it's been a few days to kind of reflect and gather thoughts on Loma and Tank being off the table. What are some of the things that have been crossing your mind?
Well, like this word that's been used, and I touched on it earlier, like you said, duck. That he ducked.
Tim Bradley openly said that Lomachenko appears to be avoiding Tank Davis. However, he also mentioned that this situation has a deeper meaning. Bradley praised Lomachenko, saying he usually doesn't dodge fights, but his attitude has changed recently. He was surprised to note that Lomachenko is now avoiding fights in the same weight class twice. First with Shakur Stevenson when he was with Top Rank, and now with Tank Davis. While discussing Lomachenko, Tim Bradley unsettlingly admitted that fighters are aware of their own strengths and weaknesses, and this is a reality. He went on to explain further, "I tell you guys all the time, fighters, we know what we can do, what we can't do. Loma, I'm sure, and his team don't want him to go out on his shield getting knocked out or getting embarrassed. He fought Kambosos cause that he knew that was a fight that he can win, and he can win a belt." Bradley respected Lomachenko's choice to avoid fighting Tank Davis, acknowledging that recent years have been very challenging for fighters. He shared that in his own experience, big paydays were no longer coming, and he reached a point where he was exhausted by training. His body was constantly sore, his ability to take punches decreased, and he ended up in the hospital during his last few fights. Tim empathized with Lomachenko, understanding the tough spot. Additionally, Tim Bradley claimed that Lomachenko has already reached legendary status in boxing, to the extent that many young fighters are now emulating his style. He said, "You got all these guys trying to contend for a world championship a lot faster now, and then you got a lot of guys that's trying to emulate Lomachenko's footwork. You know, they're trying to emulate his footwork, and you know, when you have that type of fact, man, that's legendary status right there, man. People try to emulate your style, you know." Former boxer Paulie Malignaggi was asked if he was let down by Lomachenko's decision to avoid fighting Tank, or if he thought it was a wise choice. Paulie replied that if Gervonta is in his prime, he needs to compete against other top fighters who are also at their peak.
Paulie, you've been vocal about saying this fight should have happened a few years ago. Still intriguing, still some great aspects to the fight, but it should have happened a few years ago. Are you glad that it's moving out of the way for bigger things for Tank, or are you disappointed it's not happening?
Yeah, I really rate Tank as a fighter. I'll start with that. I think, especially recent performances, I feel like he's looking sharper, better. He's showing a lot of dimensions to his style. Having said that, I'm not in the Tank Davis management game. I'm in the boxing. I want to see the best fights game. So, Champ, you said Tank wants all the smoke. I don't think so. I don't know if at 37 years old you're calling out 37-year-olds now when they were in their prime you were allergic to.
Furthermore, Paulie pointed out the irony in Gervonta's situation, noting that he could have fought Lomachenko earlier. Malignaggi criticized Tank harshly as he elaborated. "Mind you, I say that because he had already been a two-time world champion at 130 pounds. Major world titles, you know. So this guy was not like just getting on the scene okay, saying he's not ready for a Lomachenko type. He'd been a world champion twice and still never mentioned Lomachenko's name, never went anywhere near it then, never tweeted about it." Tank's co-trainer, Kenny Ellis, has labeled Lomachenko's decision as a duck and suggested they might now reach out to Stevenson to see if he'll behave similarly. In an interview with Mill City Boxing, Kenny mentioned that Stevenson has expressed his desire to have the fight this year. He said the only reason it wouldn't happen is if Stevenson backs out of fear. He added, "Shakur said it. He would like that fight in November with Tank. He said it. He wants that fight, so let's see how bad he wants it now. I ain't putting the words in his mouth. He said it. He is not with Bob Arum anymore, so let's see. The only thing that can stop that fight is fear." When asked about the chances of the matchup happening, Ellis was very optimistic. He said, "Huge chance. See what happens." Later, Kenny Ellis and Shakur Stevenson were seen in a live interview where they exchanged words. Ellis mentioned that they're aiming for a fight with Shakur in 2025, which would be held in Stevenson's hometown.
We want Shakur in 2025.
And
Spread the word.
Pull up.
Spread the word. We want him. How big is your backyard, Shakur?
Pull up. Big enough?
It's big enough for a ring?
Yeah.
How many fans can you get in there? Is it on the field? We want to do it. We want it in your backyard.
Hey, so y'all want to come to
I want your kids looking out the goddamn window.
Y'all want to come to North and fight me?
I want your kids looking out the window. Why he doing that to daddy?
Shakur has been calling out Tank for some time. Even during his feud with Floyd Mayweather, Tank was urged to fight Shakur by Mayweather himself, who posted a video of Shakur challenging Tank on his Instagram story.
Say, man, look, man. Your beef is not with Floyd Mayweather. You sitting here beefing with Floyd. It's a fighter out here that's been calling your name that want to fight you. Gervonta Tank Davis, let's make the fight happen, man. I'm tired of tweeting. I'm tired of talking about it. Stop ducking me and let's make the fight happen, man. Come on.
According to Shakur Stevenson's manager, Josh Dubin, Stevenson is ready to have discussions about a possible fight with Gervonta Davis, which could take place this year. He stated, "It's all up to Tank. The one thing about Shakur, he will take anyone you put in front of him. We're here and waiting and ready to negotiate. We'll know how realistic it is by how financially viable they make it for Shakur. We have our phone lines open, ready for a call, and they have our numbers. It's a fight Shakur really wants. He's been begging for it for a long time." After his fight against Frank Martin, Tank was asked about a possible match with Shakur. Davis expressed confidence that the fight would be great for boxing and made it clear that he knows how it would end.
I wonder, Shakur is a quick boxer, a good guy, but do you think he would engage you enough that make it an entertaining fight? Or if you fought him, do you feel like it would be a bad fight because you'd be chasing him all night?
You know how it would go. Everybody in this room would know how it would go. You know what I mean? But I guess it'd be good for the sport if we fight.
Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, recently announced that he is ready to give Stevenson a contract for a potential showdown. Shakur's fighting style is a major factor in preventing him from landing big fights. His win over Arum was met with jeers, and some fans even left before the final round. Similarly, his defensive approach in the fight against Edwin De Los Santos drew boos from the crowd. This naturally affects how much money Stevenson can expect to make, as he isn't the biggest commercial draw. However, Ford was determined to make that fight happen. Ford said, "We gonna send you a contract with the money. If they take it, they take it. We just seen what happened just now when Loma didn't take the fight." Shakur is one of the last of the big four, to tell you the truth. Ford wants that fight for WBA lightweight champion Tank Davis, 30-0-28 KOs, because he views the New Jersey native Shakur as one of the big four that he wants for his fighters. Stevenson faced loud boos from fans during both of those fights, but the most painful moment came when his supporters began leaving the Prudential Center, starting in the 8th round of his bout against Harutyunyan. Recently, Shakur has been active on social media defending his recent performances. Initially, he responded to the news with a simple smirk emoji, but then he reassured fans by posting that his dreams are near and that negotiations don't happen on X. Shakur posted, "One thing I learned about boxing fans is y'all gonna have something negative to say regardless. One minute he a clout chaser, next minute he quiet, he's scared. I'm ready to fight any and everybody. Ain't a to change. Negotiations don't happen on Twitter. This is just an exciting app to talk a lil T. The internet is not real. My time is coming and my dreams are near." Shakur's eagerness to fight Tank Davis makes sense, given that Tank is one of the biggest stars in boxing right now. Stevenson thinks that his clash with Tank Davis will be one of the biggest fights to come. "I have the best seat in the house. We all know that me and Tank are gonna have the biggest fight in years to come. Everybody and any promoter will want to be involved when that happens. I just sit back and chill and try not to think about it. I'll think about it when it happens." A fight with Tank Davis isn't just a match, it's a seismic event. Stevenson stated, "Every hood in America is going to want to watch that fight," and he's right. Stevenson recently broke silence on all the speculations and rumors. In a recent interview with Boxing News, Stevenson said that the fight will surely happen as he thinks he and Davis are the best fighters in their division. He further said that fans just want a guy to criticize for ducking fights, but he is positive to make that fight happen.
Only thing that I heard was they was trying to I guess they wanted to make the fight, and we just told them to send an offer. We ain't hit nothing back yet, but like I said, that fight is gonna happen. I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna act like the fight is not gonna happen. Me and him is the best. We the best fighters coming up. Best fighters at the 135-pound division. There's no way of the fight not happening. So I know fans want to scream and just say all of these things. This guy's ducking, this guy. They want to find a person to say that somebody's ducking, but I ain't scared to fight him. He's not scared to fight me. and it's gonna be a hell of a fight.
There's no doubt Shakur is one of the best boxers today, and a fight with Davis would be very exciting. However, Shakur faces criticism for not being a knockout artist. His recent fight with Harutyunyan was criticized because he couldn't finish his opponent. Stevenson often wins by avoiding punches, which has led some fans to call him boring, to the point where he was even booed in his own hometown last weekend. In contrast, Davis knocked out Martin in his last fight and is known for his thrilling style that fans enjoy. Shakur believes his boxing style is different from Tank's, emphasizing that his defensive skills are not the same as Tank's knockout power.
Tank is the face of boxing, and he get a lot of knockouts that people kind of making it like, if you ain't doing what Tank doing, then they gonna say it's boring. Do you feel like it's because of how his style is that they kind of putting that on you, like wanting you to do that?
People is blessed with different ability. He's blessed with a God-given ability that he crack you 9 times out of 10, you gonna go down. That's his ability. I'm blessed with God-given eyes. A lot of people don't understand how good my eyes is. I can see really good. Like punches coming my way, I know how to get away from them. At any given time. Our abilities are just different, so they probably are judging me from a scale of him, but at the end of the day, he's a great fighter. He's a special fighter, but I'm special in my own right too.
Stevenson still has the respect of many boxing purists, including his colleague Joe Cordina. In an interview with Boxing Scene, the Welsh wizard praised Stevenson and addressed his critics. He said, "It's mad, because I see loads of people giving him stick, but if you love the art of boxing, you can't knock it. How can you knock that? He hits and don't get hit. He's smart. He's one of the best defensive fighters there is right now, so I don't understand what they're saying. I genuinely don't get it. It's people that just don't see the art of boxing. All they want to see is knockouts." Bob Arum has made a bold prediction about a potential fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. While he might not be directly involved in arranging the fight at this stage, he predicted it earlier this year. Speaking to Boxing Scene, Arum expressed his belief that Stevenson would beat Davis and added that both Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez share the same view. He confidently stated, "Tank Davis is an excellent fighter and a big attraction. So sure, we'd like to match Stevenson, Lomachenko, and Lopez against Tank Davis and see how well they would do. I like our guys to win the fight. All 3 would beat Davis. I really believe that, but that's why they do the fights, right? Again, we're open to any of that." Shakur Daly believes that it requires Davis a single punch to get rid of Stevenson. He believes that Tank will be able to hurt Shakur in the later part of the fight.
So if he faces Shakur Stevenson, how you see that going?
So I feel as though he gets Shakur in the later rounds. If he gets Shakur in the later rounds, I'm about to say Tank really has like that one type of power. Like all he really needs is one punch. Shakur, he gets hit, but he don't get hit a lot, so it'd be like a back and forth type fight.
When asked about how a fight between the two might turn out, Jaron Boots' Ennis, like many others, found it tough to make a call. He said, "That's a great fight, you know. I think that's 50-50, 2 great guys, 2 sharp guys. That's a great fight. I really think it's 50-50. They both great fighters. We're not gonna know till they get in the ring. That's a great match. Shakur is sharp. He knows how to box. He's technical. Tank, he's sharp. He can box. He's got power. He can do everything. I think that's gonna be a sharp type of fight." Clarissa Shields believes that Shakur is on par with Davis, noting that Shakur won a silver medal in the 2016 Olympics. She stated, "You cannot ask me, is Shakur ready for Tank? And Tank couldn't make it to the Olympics. Shakur went to the Olympics, so of course Shakur is on the same level as Tank. Now they both are great fighters, so let them fight and let them figure it out. But I'm always Team Shakur, and I'm gonna be Team Shakur no matter who he fights against." Teddy Atlas believes that Tank Davis is the only guy that can decipher Shakur Stevenson's defensive style.
Because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult because of his style, because of his abilities, because of his eyes, because of his, his legs, and his hand speed, the way that he controls range. Tank Davis is the only guy that I can see that could possibly decipher that style and beat Shakur Stevenson.
World-class trainer Robert Garcia, who trains pound-for-pound star Jesse Bam Rodriguez, among others, told Fight Hype that he believes Davis is unbeatable at 135. Robert stated, "He's unbelievable, man. I think Tank at this point is unbeatable at the lightweight division against any of the world champions. I think he's the top guy right now in that division. He had a great performance. He has the timing, power, accuracy. Everything is great, man. He's a perfect fighter right now." In his latest prediction about about the fight with ES News, made just a month later, he considers it a toss-up and emphasizes Shakur's skills as the reason why. He said, "It's a good fight, man, because Shakur fights really good on the outside. Very smart. I think it'll be a very difficult fight for both. Right. It's very hard to beat Shakur." Evans Tobler believes that Davis is the top fighter at 135 pounds, and a match between him and Shakur would be highly intriguing. He notes that Davis is currently the face of boxing and commends his team for keeping him at the top of the division. When asked about how a fight between Tank and Shakur would play out, Tobler said, "Well, it would be one hell of a fight, but we don't know. We do know one thing about Gervonta, that his IQ is out the ceiling. They don't give him much credit for that, and he can punch too. And then you got Shakur Stevenson, who's one hell of a boxer. We haven't seen him get punched because you can't hit him, so it's one hell of a fight." In an interview with Fight Hype, former WBO super bantamweight world champion Angelo Leo chose Tank Davis to win, citing his experience sparring with both fighters. He stated, "Personally, I like Tank a little bit more. He's a very smart fighter. Very smart, very cunning. He's fast on the counter punches, and I just think he's got a lot of skill. People just think that he's a power puncher, a heavy puncher, but he's also very technical, and he knows how to pick his shots, when to pick his shots." Coach Larry Wade believes that the Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight is too significant to miss. He picks Tank to win if the fight takes place in the future. Jorge Linares is confident that Davis will knock out Stevenson if they ever fight. Linares prefers Lomachenko to face Davis, as he believes Stevenson would be an easier opponent for Davis. If Gervonta is fighting with Shakur or Stevenson, it's more of an easy fight. I like Shakur, but he has so many crazy things right now. For me, it's more exciting to see Lomachenko with Gervonta. If that fight happens with Shakur, it's easy. With Shakur, Davis can do whatever he wants to do. Maybe decision, maybe KO. If that fight with Shakur can happen, I think Gervonta can kill this guy, Linares stated. Jarrett Hurd believes that Tank's power is a significant factor in the 135-pound division. He says that regardless of whether it's Lomachenko or Stevenson, no one is safe from Tank's immense power.
Can anybody take that power at 135, in your opinion?
Hell no. Hell no, man. If you look back on PBC, where everybody was hitting that punch machine, Deontay Wilder, Eddie Reed, all them. Tank got the highest joint for a reason. Your man got bricks.
Paulie Malignaggi has expressed his support for Stevenson, believing that the Newark fighter would get the job done. He stated, "He is the best pure boxer in the sport. Nobody can touch him, nobody can beat him, including elite levels guys," said Malignaggi when speaking to ProBox TV on Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson would beat Gervonta Davis and make it look pretty easy. Davis's power is always a wild card, but Shakur Stevenson is way too good. Shakur's fighting style makes him difficult to hit, but Tim Bradley believes that the only fighter who could truly challenge Shakur is Tank Davis. He stated, "The only guy that I think can give Shakur a run for his money is Tank. The only guy, man. Because his IQ is right there with him, and he got that power, that one punch power to end the fight. If he catch Shakur, bro, Shakur ain't never been hit, but if he catches him, bro, it could be it." Bradley also thinks that if Davis attempts to charge at Shakur, he'll be overwhelmed by him. He added, "But Shakur's gonna make sure that don't happen, and that's the concentration that he has. He's gonna have the concentration all night, and he's gonna take limited chances. It's gonna be a boring ass fight, but Shakur should be able to pick it off. And if Tank starts to rush in and starts to get ahead of himself, Shakur going to pick him apart." Also on the news, the Saudi royal advisor Turki Alalshik is also planning to organize a fight between Shakur Stevenson and knockout artist William Zepeda. Speaking to a reporter from Dazn Boxing after the Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Gerald Miller fight, the Saudi royal suggested he also wants to put together a fight between Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. He mentioned that Shakur is ready for the potential matchup.
To see this fight, and I want to see Shakur Zepeda.
Shakur Stevenson is here as well.
He accept, De La Hoya accept, AD accept, let's do it.
While Stevenson was open to the fight from the beginning, Zepeda's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, had other plans for the boxer. However, after this exclusive announcement, the head of Golden Boy Promotions may change his mind, especially since his company is in a partnership with Turkey's Riyadh season. His Excellency Turki Alalshik also met Stevenson personally at the event and told him that he needs to know now about the offer Alalshik gave him.
He's very good friends with Jared Anderson.
You know what we are, I said to his
mind, yeah. You all ready? Yeah. I'm ready too. Yeah.
Previously, Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda have reportedly verbally agreed to a WBC lightweight title fight, according to a report from Lance Pugmire. Pugmire also reports that the most likely date for the fight as of now would be Octa 12 in Riyadh, where it would be on the undercard of the highly anticipated Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol undisputed 175 pounds title fight. Stevenson was ordered by the WBC to defend his 135 pounds title against Zepeda recently, but tried instead to make a big fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, who holds the WBA lightweight title and is a much bigger box office star than Zepeda. Stevenson recently became a promotional free agent with his top-ranked contract expiring. Zepeda is promoted by Golden Boy, whose Oscar De La Hoya recently said he wasn't that interested in doing this fight and called the news fake, but also claimed that those feelings can change. And also, people in boxing say lots of things. De La Hoya initially distanced himself from the fight, saying no one would tell his fighter who to box. De La Hoya stated that Shakur would only get that fight if he signed with Golden Boy, but also claimed that those feelings can change. And also, people in boxing say anything. Had a great meeting with that Shakur Stevenson representatives. At William Zepeda 2 will only fight him if Shakur is signed to at Golden Boy Boxing. De La Hoya said, "For me, I don't really care for tying a fighter down for 5 fights or 3 years. If they like working with you, they like working with you. If they don't, they don't. Someone like Golden Boy and those kinds of guys, they will only allow him, Shakur, to fight William Zepeda if he signs a long-term deal with them." Eddie Hearn also talked about what De La Hoya had told him about the matchup. He, Oscar De La Hoya, also said that he would only make the fight if he was with Golden Boy, which is a disgrace to boxing. This is from a guy who says promoters should work together and that the best should fight the best. Now, you can only get Zepeda if you're with Golden Boy, which is bizarre. We're in there, Matchroom Boxing, with the same platform. DAZN, Hearn stated, can Zepeda be the sort of test, or at least the sort of style matchup that brings the best out of Stevenson? Will Stevenson's almost boring performances in recent outings catch up to him against someone who brings a lot of heat? So what do you think about this fight? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.